Hello, my big picture group. Wednesday video today. Today's movement. Yes. No, you have no idea how much I love movement. Love movement. There'll be a video going up right behind this one of a short version of my Muscle Madness class. Those of you who've taken that before, you'll notice that the 1 minute intervals in the middle are gone and they're just lifting. I just wanted us to keep it very basic, but I wanted you guys to have an option to go play with. So that'll come on after, but let's talk about movement. A couple things. I'm going to extend this section to a 2-week session. I just could not get all the information into one 20-minute video, so I'm not going to stress myself or you and try to cram a bunch of really useful information into a short period. I'm just going to let it come as it comes. All right. So this week we're going to talk more about like technical movement. We're going to talk about the benefits of different styles of movement, different ways to approach working out. And then next week, we'll go more into the health and emotional benefits and the neurodivergent benefits and stuff like that. So next week might be a little more technical, a little more medical sounding. But this week's going to be more about moving and fun and why do we need to move? Why do we want to move? Why? So that's a big one. I think for all of these domains, finding your why is extremely important. If you're showing up and doing something regularly and you don't even know why, what's the point? So I've just found working with people, let me make sure I'm not going to drop us. Working with people for a long time in the arena of movement. There's really not a one size fits all at all. Like it really is. You don't fit the exercise to the person. You fit the person to the exercise, or sorry, the other way around. You don't fit the person to the exercise. Not everybody can do every exercise. You have to really customize the exercise to the person. We all have a different body. We all have different injuries. We all have different lengths of legs, arms, torsos. Like we're all going to move a little different. So anyways, let's go into the first part, which is the real technical part. It's NASM's, let me grab. Oh, it's over here. I forgot I put it there. Sorry, sometimes I'm a little bit of a hot mess. Okay, here's this guy. So this is the basic breakdown. I know it's going to be backwards to you on here, so I'm just doing it for the sake of, I will post it in the comments so you can actually look at it. I'm actually doing it for the sake of my brain. This is the weekly breakdown. This is American Heart Association standard. Theirs is very simple. It's very easy. 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous exercise a week. We'll go over moderate to vigorous later. I'll show you how to gauge that. So that's real easy, right? It sounds real easy. It's just real simple. 150 minutes, you can break it up into 5 30-minute days. You could break it up into 3 50-minute workouts. So that gives you a little flexibility. I like that NASM, National Association of Sports Medicine, that's who I'm certified through. They break it down a lot nicer, and I really feel like it's less overwhelming in this way. So they break it down. This is a weekly goal again. 60 to 90 minutes of cardio, 90 to 120 minutes of resistance training, and 60 minutes of stretching. When I break this down to a client into a 3-day workout commitment, so if you were to come to the gym or at your home or whatever commitment you're going to fulfill for that 3 days a week, it would look something like this. You would do 20 minutes of cardio to start. You'd do something like 30 minutes of resistance, and you'd end with a 20-minute stretch. If you do that 3 days a week, you will hit all these first target numbers. That's a great place to start. I underlined those target numbers, and again, I'll post this in the comments below, because if you hit that minimum, I'm okay with that. It's more than most people are going to hit just naturally. So that's a starting point. And if you can get yourself up to those other goals, that's great. So that's a really standard breakdown, okay? I know it's a lot more complicated than that, and let's get into that. That cardio, for instance, let's talk about that first. And we'll talk about the perceived exertion chart. That will also be posted in the comment section at the end of this video. So perceived exertion is a 1 to 10 scale. 1 meaning, I don't really feel like I'm working out hardly at all. 10 meaning like I'm going to die. I can't breathe. I'm going to throw up. Like I'm done. I have to go lay down now. And all the way in between. So for that cardio, I need you to sit somewhere between that 7 and that 8. You should be able to function still. You shouldn't feel like you're going to die, but it should be hard to talk. If you had a workout buddy, you'd have to take a breath in between talking to them. It would get difficult. That's what you're looking for, is that need to catch your breath. That's about that 7 on the exertion chart. 8 is like, I really can't talk very clear. So somewhere in there, you can do that with a brisk walk. I mean, you don't have to do anything so excruciatingly hard. It could really be the basic. You just may need to pick the pace up to where you're breathing like that and you're getting your heart rate up. All right, let's talk about the resistance training. I feel like a lot of women avoid this. They kind of think if they lift heavy, they're going to get bulky. You're not designed to get bulky. Lifting has so many benefits. Women especially should be doing it. It helps you with your bone density. It helps you with your metabolism. So for instance, the more muscle you have on your body versus fat, the more calories you will burn at rest. Friends, this is good news. Okay, this means that you can sit on the couch and burn calories if you are pure muscle. I mean, you have to do something to keep and maintain that muscle. So obviously that's a very exaggerated statement, but the more muscle you have on the body, the better. The resistance training, bone density, huge. People don't realize that they're losing bone density. You need something to pull you to earth and fight gravity to get your bone to push back off of earth to build new fibers and new material and stay nice and dense and not get all airy and holy. So we don't want that. We don't want holy bones. That sounds weird, doesn't it? Anyways, and then the stretch. I'll tell you what, I've worked with folks in movement for 10 years and that gets skipped so much. And I've really determined that people skip stretching mostly because it doesn't really change your pant size. But does it? It makes all your other workouts way more effective and way healthier. And the risk of injury goes down. So the risk of setback goes away. Flexibility, I can't speak enough to that. The human movement system, it needs all 3 of those things: cardio, resistance, and stretching. It really needs them all. So please, please, please don't short yourself on that stretch, okay? Let's talk about styles of working out. That's another thing I get a lot of questions about. The workout that's going to be the most successful for you is the one you enjoy. Always, hands down. If you're 10 minutes into your hour or half-hour workout and you're looking at the clock like, oh my God, I got to get out of here, it is not your workout. Find something you enjoy so that you will actually show up to do it, okay? I'll give you a list. I have a ton of ideas in that. And because I really 100% believe, because of what I've seen in this field, if you don't have a why and you don't have a reason, having a smaller waist usually doesn't carry us through to long-term goals. Maybe if you're a figure competitor or you have a goal where the physique has to be at a certain level, then I'll see people be successful. But generally, we need to find a bigger why, whether it's to combat illness and disease, or it's to stay mobile into our later years, or so we can play with our children and our grandchildren, or we want to participate in sport. There's lots of really good whys out there. Most of you know mine. I've said it in other videos. I'll probably say it over and over and over again. I watched all my grandparents grow, still half of them alive, healthy into their low to mid to late 90s, guys, and like healthy, like mobile. So for me, I want to be mobile like that. I want to be able to travel and stay healthy and enjoy my later years. So that's my why. Anytime I forget my why, I have it written down in many places or in many different forms. I've got other whys too. That's just my big one. So make sure your why is right out where you can see it. Here's a couple different styles of working out that you can embrace. There's group fitness. Group fitness is great for those of us who are not motivated internally and we need some external motivation. Group fitness is a great place to go because there's a room full of very supportive people who will lift you up when you feel like you can't go anymore. So let's definitely look into that if you haven't. Working out from home. There's lots of ways to do that. Videos like this, YouTube, apps like Pinterest can build you nice workouts. If you're not very familiar with working out and you don't have a hold on form or anything, maybe hiring a trainer for a couple sessions just to teach you the basics wouldn't be a terrible idea. That was my next one's training, getting a trainer. It does help. Half of my clients, I would say, probably have me just for accountability, just because I need someone or want someone to show up and talk to the whole time they work out, give them new ideas, stuff like that. A buddy, finding someone, a family member or a friend, a child, a sibling, somebody to go with you is a huge motivator. I see a lot of that at the gym too. Let's see, organized sports, playing games like softball, even being on a bowling league, something that you find enjoyable, fun. Maybe it's something you did in high school or college and you just want to revisit it because you're missing it. Anything outdoors, I love all of it. I love camping, hiking, fishing, paddleboarding, canoeing. I mean, if you throw an outdoor sport at me, I'm in. Any kind of climbing, zip lining, all of it. Love it. Love it, love it. And we'll talk about the emotional factor of some of those things next week. So there's definitely more than a physical. And challenges, challenging each other, entering a challenge, creating a challenge. Let's all do 100 sit-ups a day for 30 days and check in with each other and keep each other accountable, stuff like that. So there's lots of ways to get movement in. And I'm going to enter one more concept of movement that we don't talk about a lot, especially those of us who really like exercise. I work with a lot of people who really don't like exercise. You don't have to exercise. You don't have to go to a traditional gym setting. You don't have to have a traditional setup like I do. I mean, if you look behind me, I've got your traditional rack of dumbbells. I've got bars to lift. I've got squat racks and mats and sanded balls and kettlebells and you name it, because I like to work out. I enjoy it. It's something that me and my family come down here into this space and we enjoy. It's not for everyone, so let's talk about other options. There's a concept called NEAT movement, non-exercise activity thermogenics. And what that means, I'll give you a really good example so that you can kind of apply it to yourself. So you have somebody who gets up in the morning, works out. I don't know if I like that light bulb right there, but whatever, I guess we're stuck with it. No, we're not. So, non-exercise activity thermogenics. Here's your example. You've got a person who wakes up in the morning, does a very vigorous workout for an hour. I mean, really gets at it. Go, 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 go. But then they go sit at a desk for 10 hours. And then they go out to eat and go to bed. Or make dinner, go to bed, whatever. Now we have the person B, the other person. This person doesn't really work out, maybe once or twice a week, does something kind of unintentional, real easygoing. But their job is a waitress. They're on their feet for 8 hours a day, lifting and squatting and bending and moving. Who do you think falls under that NEAT category? It would be the waiter or waitress. That nonstop 8 hours of movement actually is more productive and more natural to what we are supposed to do than that 1 hour of vigorous movement followed by sedentary lifestyle. So the person who works out 1 hour and then sits at a desk, hey, like the 1 hour is better than nothing. It's combating some of the sitting at the desk. I would highly encourage those of us who are stuck at a desk to stand up at least once an hour for 5 minutes. So don't get locked into there for 4 hours. And then you stand up and you're like, oh, my hips. And you can't stand up because you're so tight and you have to extend yourself. So you really do want to make sure you're getting up and moving around a little more frequent than that, okay? And that would improve the NEAT movement. How else can you improve the NEAT movement? I've got friends and clients who are teachers. Instead of sit at your desk, move around the classroom. If you are a desk worker, you could get a standing desk so it could stand up and sit down. If you're stuck in a cubicle, every hour, take some laps, go for a walk at your lunch, find some time to add a nice brisk walk. Find ways to add movement. If you're going to go to the grocery store and you've been sitting at a desk all day, park at the very back of the parking lot. Walk in, take the stairs instead of the elevator, all these things. And we all talk about these things. We all know it. But at the end of the day, they add up more than you think. Stretching is huge. I talk about stretching a lot right alongside of the NEAT movement because you still need stretching if it's not traditional exercise. You'd still need to stretch at the end of the day. The way I train people, I have a way I approach movement. I like a natural approach. I kind of tease, I go like caveman style working out. And all I mean by that is if we were restored to caveman times when we had none of these engineered apparatuses to make our lives so much easier, what kind of movements would you be doing? You'd be pushing, you'd be pulling, you'd be crawling, you'd be rolling, you'd be sitting up, you'd be laying down, you'd be climbing and swimming, running and walking, anything natural. I'll give you some unnatural examples. Sitting on a recumbent bike for 2 hours. That's not a natural movement. That's not something we would do naturally. A lot of your cardio machines, I hate to say it, are not my favorite because they're not very natural movement. When you're walking on that treadmill, you're literally marching and the belt is moving under your feet. There's no posterior chain pushing like when you walk on a ground or a track. Unless you're on one of those like wayward treadmills that you're using your legs to push that belt, you're really not getting what you need. Let's talk about ellipticals. I mean, whenever do we move our body and our hips like that, like this sliding motion? Never. Now, is it a great compromise to somebody who's had really bad knees and can't do anything other than that? Sure. Always there's a room to add those movements. But if you're a perfectly healthy human being and you don't have any reason to avoid, why would you get on something like that? It's not natural. That's just my opinion. Some people love that thing, and hey, I mean, it's better than sitting on the couch. So any movement for me, that's another thing I'd like to talk about. There's no wrong movement. I just want you to move. I don't care how you do it. I don't care what you do. I just need you to move. Next week's video will talk a lot about the brain health and the benefits and the things that we lack and lose when we quit moving around. So we'll get into that a little bit more next week. Again, I want to keep these videos at about 20 minutes. So that about wraps up this week's style of movement. There's another model. I should throw this out there while I'm on here. If you can't get 3 days a week, and I say this to every client I work with. If you've worked with me, you've heard this come out of my mouth before. If you can't hit the 3-day-a-week model, 2 days is fine. 1 day is tough. 1 day a week of intentional movement exercise, you almost start over every week when you come back. So that can be kind of discouraging. If you have to go to a 2-day workout week, and you still want to hit the same goals that this board displays, you can intensify your workouts. Let me give you some examples. Look up HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training. Tabata, it's real similar, just another copyrighted name of similar HIIT style workout. You can get a 30-minute HIIT done and you can pretty much speed up some of those things. 30-minute HIIT's better than doing nothing. You could also do a 30-minute resistance, quick resistance. The video I'm going to put up, I believe, is 36 minutes. If you cut the core out of that, you'd hit the 30 minutes. And that would hit most of your big global muscles. You're going to get chest, back, biceps, triceps, quads, glutes. So that video, and I'm going to be posting more videos over the next 2 weeks. You'll get kind of a half-hour version of everything I teach and or do. So you'll have some options to pull from here. And one of them will be a 30-minute HIIT. So you'll have that as an option if that is something you need. So it's not that you can't do 2 days a week. 2 days a week is better than 0 days a week. Always, even 1 day a week is better than nothing. So I'll always say do something over nothing. And it's not a successful journey, guys. It isn't. Like, this has been an up and down journey for me. I've been lots of different weights. I've been lots of different shapes and sizes. I've had lots of different life circumstances. It just isn't a successful journey. Sometimes things are easier and sometimes things allow for more than others. So show yourself some grace. Come into it slow. Always start slow with movement if you haven't been moving for a while. And if you need any guidance or you feel like you're just not able to execute the workouts safely, then please reach out and I will help you figure that out. One last thing I want to end the video on. I didn't want to start it on this because I don't think people will receive this information necessarily as positive all the way. Exercise is not usually the avenue to weight loss. It helps, and it will definitely speed things up because, like I said, the more muscle you have on your body, the higher your metabolism will go, the more calories you will burn at rest. But most of your weight loss is going to come from diet combined with movement and exercise, okay? You cannot outrun your fork. It's impossible. I've tried. It's just not doable. So you could exercise and exercise and exercise and like really burn yourself out and burn yourself down and not get the results you're looking for if you're not making any adjustments to your diet, okay? So I see that a lot. Well, I'm doing 4 hours of cardio and all this lifting and I just can't get to where I'm going. A, you're probably moving too much. There is a such thing as burning out your muscles to the point where they're just not able to recover and you're not going to get results. B, you're probably eating too much. So it can be very discouraging to think you're doing all this exercise and all this working out and it's not benefiting you. Weight loss is not the only benefit, okay? Usually it's the last one to come along, unfortunately. So I want you to focus on exercise for wellness, not weight loss, okay? A weight loss will come. If weight loss is your goal, let's set some goals in nutrition. You'll get more results there quicker. So anyways, lovely, lovely, lovely. It's warming up here in Colorado. Thank God it's been super cold. So going outside to walk and doing any outdoor movements been kind of... So hopefully we'll see that turn around a little bit. It's the nice thing about Colorado is one day it's hot and the next day it's cold. So anyways, on that note, I will be back next week with the other half of the movement information I'd like to share with you. In the meantime, this week, you'll be getting a lot of information about movement. You'll be getting some videos of mock classes that I teach. There'll be little shortened versions of it so that you can hit them quicker. As they come out, please give me your feedback. If you have any questions or you need any help on any of those, don't hesitate to ask. And in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your week and move, move, move.